as red. She's got the spices, smile so bright. Cooking with Judith right by my side. By my side. Chop, chop, sizzle, frying pan heat. From pancakes to a fancy feast. Cooking with Judith, fun to say the least. The least.
Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith, and today we've got quite the involved project on hand here. We're going to make pierogis. Now, this recipe was given to me by a very nice lady, and she used to make 100 at a time with help from her daughters. I don't need 100 pierogis, so I'm only going to make 50. Hopefully I have enough potatoes for that. A popular filling is potatoes with bacon and onion. But that's not what I want to do today. Today we're going to do potatoes with cheddar, and that'll be a half, I think. And the other half of the recipe we're going to do potatoes with sauerkraut. So first thing we have to do is actually cook the potatoes, because I want a half a cup of the potato water to mix with my 4 eggs to make the dough. So I guess I gotta start peeling. Once your potatoes are soft, drain them, and don't forget to save some of the potato water because you're going to use that in your dough. I mean, you could use just plain water, but the potato water adds a little more cohesiveness. Then we're going to mash. And yes, it took me a few minutes to find my masher in the drawer full of... I'm not going to open because something's in the way. But I found it. And we're just going to add some butter. We're not going to add any liquid. So a couple of tablespoons of cold butter. And if you think your potatoes are going to be too dry, definitely don't drain them completely. Leave a little bit of the cooking water in. Or if you're afraid to judge that, make sure you've saved extra of the potato water, and you can add that in. And I do have a little extra there in case I need it. So for this, I used 9 medium-sized russet potatoes. And no, I didn't weigh them. I probably should have, but it's not essential. And we're not looking for the smooth mash like you would have with if you're making a roast beef dinner or something. We just want to squash them up. Okay, so now that that's done, we are going to separate, because I said I was making 2 fillings. So we're going to split these into separate bowls. Hopefully we can get half in one bowl and half in the other bowl. And I'm not too terribly concerned with it being exactly half and half. So while the potatoes are still hot, you want to add your cheddar cheese. So let's just pick a bowl and put the cheddar cheese in. And again, I did not weigh my cheese. That's about 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. And you want it hot so that the cheese will melt into the potatoes. And you're going to end up with a lovely bowl full of cheesy potatoes. Just make sure you get them spread evenly through. So this is my homemade sauerkraut. I'll put a link to it up in the corner there. And I have a 500 ml jar. I'm going to use about half of it. And those dark balls are juniper seeds, juniper berries. They are yummy. Okay, there we are. So those are our two fillings. And now we just have to make our dough, which means we need to wait for our potato water to cool. And once your potato water is room temperature, we're going to start making our dough. It's essentially a pasta dough. So we have 4 cups of just all-purpose flour. Make it a little well in the bottom. And we're going to crack in 4 eggs. So 1 egg per cup of flour. These are large eggs. And you can mix this by hand, but to save time and my arms, we're doing it with the KitchenAid. So start off on slow. And you might want a spatula to push the flour down. And then our potato water, we are going to add a little bit at a time. If you've ever made pasta, this is essentially the same thing. If you want, you could add some salt to it. I generally don't. It's not really required. I did cook the potatoes with salt. I put a teaspoon of salt in the water with the potatoes when I cooked them. Okay. Now we just have to wait until everything gets incorporated. And with my KitchenAid, my setting is on 2. Okay, everything is now incorporated. It looks good. I'm going to turn it up just a notch to 3 and basically knead it for about 4 to 5 minutes. Once we've finished kneading the dough, we are going to let it rest. So what we need to do is scrape the dough out of the mixing bowl, and it is very sticky at this point, onto a sheet of plastic wrap. And get it out of here. Perfect day to be doing this. It is pouring rain outside. There we are. And we're just going to wrap it up. And put it in the refrigerator for about an hour. The dough has been in the fridge for 45 minutes. It is very soft, so we're going to probably have to use quite a bit of flour. Turn it up, and we're just going to get a knife because I don't have a pastry cutter. I'm going to do small bits. Yeah, see, it's very sticky still. So yeah, we're going to need flour. I think I put too much of the potato water in it. That's okay. We can adjust for that. There we go. Let go of me. Just cover it back up. And let's get some flour. There we are. Now, if you've ever made pasta before and tried to roll it out by hand, you know how difficult that is. Same with your pierogi dough. So, I'm just going to flatten it. And yes, flour is helping immensely. But I need to get it sort of rectangular, because if you've made pasta, you probably have a pasta roller. And that is the easiest way to roll this dough out, because it is so frustrating to try to do it with a rolling pin by hand. So, believe me, I have done it before, so I know. Both with pasta and with this dough, which is basically a pasta dough. So a couple of runs through at 0 or 1, whatever is the largest setting on your roller. And then move it to the next one. And roll through a couple of times. There we go. And down to the next one. I think we're about thin enough. Okay. Yeah, I think that will do. You don't want it quite as thin as you would make your pasta. Your thinnest pasta anyway. So that was on 6. So now what we need is a cutter. So just any round cookie cutter or glass or jar, whatever you have. And cut circles. So you are going to need some trays, just cookie sheets work. Line them with some parchment paper. Ooh, looks like I'm out of parchment paper. Sprinkle with flour. There's always a way around when you don't have something that you thought you had. There's a little flour, just so the pierogi don't stick. Because we are going to freeze them. Well, most of them. Some we're going to cook fresh for dinner. So get yourself a good spoon. And we want enough filling, like about a tablespoon of filling. And fold it and stretch it. Sounds kind of like an aerobic exercise. Reach and stretch. And pinch the edges together. So I'll be doing that for a little while. So that's 16 of the cheese and potato filled pierogis. And these are going to go in the freezer, just like this, until frozen. Then I'll transfer them to a freezer bag. Unfortunately, when I got to doing the potato and sauerkraut filling, something unfortunate happened with my pasta roller. I don't know if you can see that plate down there? That somehow got bent. I have no idea how the dough could have bent it, but it refuses to work. I did try to bend it back flat, but no go. So it looks like my pasta roller is history. I had to spend a lot of time rolling them out by hand. Yeah, good workout for the abs though. And these ones have already been in the freezer, so I'm going to add them to my bag. So I have 24 here. I have 12 in the bag. So that's a lot more than I said this would make, because this is the second batch. And I already have about 29, I think, of the potato and cheese ones done. And I have another 17 of the potato and sauerkraut in the freezer. Just getting them frozen to put in the bag. So, if we add them all together, that gives us getting up on to 75. So either I made them a lot smaller than usual, or I really misjudged my measurements. I have a feeling I made them smaller. You'll get a lot of pierogis, whether you cut the recipe in half, use the full recipe, and if you double it, you could feed an army. So now we get to cook our pierogis. Pot of boiling water, and yes, I froze these. So drop them in, and I am cooking extras because I'm going to take them for my lunch at work next week. A bit of a stir. I'm just going to reduce the heat a bit. We don't need it at full blast. And we wait for them to come to the surface. And yeah, do give them a stir now and then, just to make sure they're not sticking to the bottom. But this should only take a couple of minutes. You want them to float, and hopefully nothing falls apart. Remember, it is cooked potatoes and fresh pasta. So all we need to cook is the pasta. And that should not take more than a few minutes. Yeah, turn my heat down a little far. Now you want to give these, once they come to the top, 2 to 3 minutes to cook. As I said, it is fresh pasta, so it won't take long, but it will take a minute or two. And once you're happy with how cooked they are. Gonna give them another minute. Just scoop them out. Try to drain off as much water as possible. And so they don't stick together, we want a little bit of butter in there. Just a little. And give them a bit of a toss with the butter. Just so they don't stick together. Pierogis. Ooh, I do like them, but I do prefer them homemade. Store-bought ones, if you get a good brand, can be good. And homemade is a lot of work. So you have to be committed. Now, we're going to get to the garnishes for your pierogi. Typically, it's sour cream. And remember, they're already soaked in butter. So you don't have to go too heavy on the sour cream. Bacon bits, hopefully freshly made, and fried onions. And of course, I almost consider it a garnish, one lovely pork chop. Of course, pierogis are really good with just some salt and pepper on them. A little butter, salt and pepper. So let's see, which one have we got here? Well, this is a potato and cheese. Oh yeah. I'm happy now. And one of these is, this one. Sauerkraut and potato. Oh my. Oh, if you like sauerkraut, that is so good. And paired with the bacon and the onion and the sour cream, this is heavenly. I know this is a big undertaking. It's an all-day project. And you have to be careful about your pasta dough drying out, or you won't be able to roll it properly. And the leftover pierogis, and I know I cooked extra on purpose, those you can fry. They are wonderful fried. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the recipe. I hope you give it a try. But yeah, I warn you, it is a major project. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon with a new video.